First things first, it's good to be back in a theater. It's been a long time, but I finally got a chance to sit in that dark room with a popcorn and a drink and be myself. Though streaming has helped quite a bit. Now on to the feature.
We have to be quiet. Because this is a prequel to A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place, Day 1. It was actually pretty good.
And no, I'm not going to whisper through the whole review. So yeah, A Quiet Place, Day 1. Now, we saw where our family of survivors were on Day 1. But now we cut to what happened in a major city, the Big Apple. And man, did they use that fairly expensive shooting area to their advantage. The way it goes from a cacophony of sounds to dead quiet, because the dead are all that's left and they stay quiet. It's eerie. Such a populous area being so quiet. To our modern sensibilities, it's unnatural. And it made for some pretty flipping effective atmosphere. As for the cast, Djimon Hounsou, which I have to fight myself to keep from calling Digimon Hounsou. I don't know why, but it just looks like his name is pronounced Digimon. Anyway, he reprises his role as the guy from the second film, and if you've seen that film, you know what happens to him. But here, he's just a supporting character. The main character, played by I want to say her name is Lupita Nyong'o or something like that. Anyway, she was one of the Wakandan ladies. Here she plays a cancer survivor, well, living on borrowed time, just trying to stay alive, despite not only her own body trying to kill her, but these ravenous aliens as well. And she learns pretty quick how to do just that, stay alive. She's joined by a British Joseph Quinn, aka Eddie from Stranger Things. And he is such a 180 from that character. Like I said, he's British, he's a law student, and he wears his fear on his wrist. He's really fairly accurate in terms of going through PTSD, as a civilian, at least. And the two characters work well off of each other. And believe it or not only do they work well as a couple, they work well as friends. At first, her character is annoyed that his character keeps following her, but she warms up to him pretty quick. And they bond. Also, they're joined by a cat. No, not this cat. He's too lazy. Nope. She's got a short hair with a blotchy fur pattern who goes by the name of Frodo. And like the fictional character, the cat takes the two characters on the road that goes ever on and on as they travel to the coastline of Manhattan to try to escape by boat, because the military cuts off the island, as seen in the trailer, and boats are the only way to get to safety, well, relative safety. Overall, it's consistent with the A Quiet Place franchise. The characters say very little, and what they do say is very poignant. The creatures are on point. We get to see a little bit more of their life cycle. They seem to feed on food that came from their homeworld via the meteors. And I think a couple of the scenes were done practically because these creatures are the most realistic I've seen so far. There's very little music, but what we do get is just pitch perfect. And the silence that permeates the film speaks volumes. Overall, I'd say it's less terrifying than the original two films because, well, we basically see how the story ends. But in seeing how the story begins from a different perspective, we appreciate the franchise a whole lot more, at least I do. And despite the second film being kind of a definitive end, I kind of want to see more of how humanity takes back the world from the creatures that require the world
to go silent.
This is Mr. J signing out and reminding you, when it comes to survival, sometimes it's best to stay quiet and sometimes it's best to speak out. Especially when there's potential for multiple survivors and more hands to rebuild society. And remember, if the world ends and you're out and about, stay quiet, stay alive. And try to help Joseph Quinn if he shows up.